Are you ready to confront the unknown? To delve into the darkest corners of the world where shadows linger and spirits roam freely? We're about to embark on a chilling journey to some of the most haunted locations on Earth, places so terrifying you should never dare to venture alone. We're talking about haunted asylums, cursed forests, and ancient prisons where the veil between our world and the next wears thin. These are the places where the living can feel the icy grip of fear, hear the whispers of tormented souls, and witness the unexplainable firsthand. This isn't for the faint of heart. This is for those who crave the truth, who seek answers in the darkness. So buckle up, lock your doors, and prepare to be terrified as we explore the chilling stories behind these haunted locations. You've been warned. Nestled high in the Colorado Rockies stands the imposing silhouette of the Stanley Hotel. This historic landmark, with its grand architecture and breathtaking views, has long been a destination for those seeking both luxury and a touch of the supernatural. Built in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley, this grand hotel has played host to countless guests, but some, it seems, have never checked out. The hotel's rich history is interwoven with tales of ghostly encounters and unexplained phenomena that have intrigued and terrified visitors for over a century. Guests have reported disembodied laughter echoing through the empty hallways, lights flickering on and off, and a pervasive feeling of being watched. These eerie occurrences have become a hallmark of the Stanley Hotel experience, drawing paranormal enthusiasts from around the world. But the most infamous room is room 217, where the spirit of a former housekeeper, Elizabeth Wilson, is said to roam. Elizabeth's story is one of tragedy and mystery, adding to the room's haunted reputation. Legend has it that Elizabeth was struck by lightning while working during a storm. The powerful bolt of electricity caused a massive explosion, severely injuring her and causing significant damage to the room. She survived the initial shock but died a few days later. Her untimely death left a lasting impression on the hotel, and many believe her spirit remains tethered to room 217, unable to move on. Now, guests report their belongings being unpacked, lights turning on and off, and even the feeling of a presence sitting on the edge of the bed. These unsettling experiences have been recounted by numerous visitors, each adding to the legend of Elizabeth Wilson. Some guests have even claimed to see a spectral figure resembling Elizabeth, dressed in old-fashioned clothing, moving silently through the room. These sightings have only fueled the fascination and fear surrounding room 217. Could these be the actions of a restless spirit forever tethered to the place of her demise? Or is there something more at play, a deeper connection between the living and the dead that we have yet to understand? Or is there a darker, more sinister force at play within the walls of the Stanley Hotel? The mysteries of the Stanley Hotel continue to captivate and confound, leaving us to wonder about the true nature of the paranormal and the secrets that lie within its historic walls. Whether you are a skeptic or a believer, the stories of the Stanley Hotel offer a glimpse into a world where the past and present intertwine, and where the line between reality and the supernatural is often blurred. The allure of the unknown beckons, inviting you to explore the haunted halls, and perhaps encounter a ghostly presence yourself. So the next time you find yourself in the Colorado Rockies, consider a visit to the Stanley Hotel. Who knows what you might experience within its storied walls? The ghosts of room 217, and the many other spirits said to inhabit the hotel, await your arrival. Today, Poveglia Island is strictly off-limits to visitors. This small island, nestled in the Venetian lagoon, has a dark and twisted history that has led to its current state of abandonment. Once a quarantine station for plague victims, it later became a mental asylum where unspeakable horrors were said to have occurred. The island's sinister past has left an indelible mark, making it a place shrouded in mystery and fear. Locals whisper tales of restless spirits driven mad by their suffering who roam the crumbling buildings and abandoned grounds. These apparitions are said to be the souls of those who perished in agony, unable to find peace. The eerie silence of the island is often broken by inexplicable sounds, whispers, cries, and footsteps that seem to come from nowhere. The atmosphere is thick with a sense of unease, as if the island itself is alive and watching. Fishermen refuse to cast their nets near the island, fearing they'll dredge up human remains. The waters surrounding Poveglia are said to be haunted, with many claiming to have seen ghostly figures beneath the surface. The island's reputation is so fearsome that even the bravest of sailors avoid its shores. Stories of boats being mysteriously pulled towards the island, or engines failing without explanation, add to the island's terrifying allure. Some say the island is cursed, a vortex of negative energy where the veil between the living and the dead is thin. This belief is reinforced by the numerous accounts of paranormal activity reported by those who have dared to visit. From sudden drops in temperature to the feeling of being watched, the island exudes an aura of malevolence. The old cemetery, overgrown and forgotten, is said to be a hotspot for ghostly encounters, with many claiming to have seen shadowy figures moving among the graves. People who have dared to set foot on Poveglia have reported feeling a sense of dread, hearing voices, and even being physically touched by unseen hands. The island's decaying buildings and overgrown paths create a labyrinthine environment where it's easy to get lost. Many visitors have described the sensation of being followed, their every step echoed by an unseen presence. Some have even claimed to have been pushed or scratched by invisible forces, leaving them with physical marks as proof of their ordeal. Is Poveglia truly a portal to the other side, a place where tormented souls are trapped between worlds? Or is it simply the weight of its tragic history that fuels these supernatural tales? The island's dark past, filled with suffering and death, has created an environment ripe for ghost stories and legends. Whether these tales are true or not, they serve as a chilling reminder of the island's grim legacy. Or is it the weight of its own horrific history that continues to haunt this island, a chilling reminder of the darkness that humanity is capable of? The photographs and records from Poveglia's past paint a picture of despair and horror. The asylum, in particular, is infamous for the cruel treatments and experiments conducted on its patients. These historical accounts add a layer of credibility to the ghost stories, making it difficult to separate fact from fiction. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: Poveglia Island remains a place of fear and fascination, drawing the curious and the brave to its shores. Its eerie beauty and haunting atmosphere make it a unique and unforgettable location. The island stands as a testament to the darker side of human history, a place where the past refuses to be forgotten. Poveglia Island remains one of the most terrifying and forbidden places on Earth. Its desolate landscape, combined with its haunted reputation, ensures that it will continue to captivate and terrify those who hear its story. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the island's chilling history and eerie ambiance are enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. Locals Japanese will tell you about the eerie, the restless spirits of those who died in the forest. They say these spirits roam the woods, their anguish echoing through the trees, seeking solace they may never find. Some visitors claim to have heard voices whispering their names, drawing them deeper into the forest's embrace. Others report seeing shadowy figures lurking at the edge of their vision, only to vanish when approached. Imagine being surrounded by this dense, oppressive darkness, the silence broken only by the creaking of branches and the distant cries of unseen creatures. You can feel eyes on you, but every time you turn, there's nothing there. Aokigahara is a place where life and death intertwine, where the veil between worlds feels thin and fragile. It's a stark reminder of the power of despair and the enduring presence of the departed. Eastern State Penitentiary was once the most famous and expensive prison in the world, but stands today in ruin, a haunting world of crumbling cell blocks and empty guard towers. Its vaulted, skylit cells held nearly 85,000 people over its long history, including bank robber Slick Willie Sutton and Scarface Al Capone. Visitors and investigators alike have reported disembodied voices, shadowy figures appearing in cell doorways, and even full-bodied apparitions of former inmates. One of the most haunted areas is Cell Block 12, where the spirits of several inmates are said to reside. It's here that people have reported feeling cold spots, sudden drops in temperature, and an overwhelming sense of dread. Imagine walking these halls, knowing that you're stepping into the same space where so much pain and suffering occurred. The air grows thick, you feel a presence beside you, and then you hear it. A whisper, a sigh, a moan from the cell next to you. There's a darkness that clings to Eastern State Penitentiary, a residue of the anguish experienced within its walls. This isn't just a haunted location, it's a monument to despair, a place where the echoes of suffering continue to reverberate. Hoia Baciu is a hotbed of paranormal activity. Nestled in the heart of Romania, this forest has earned a reputation as the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania. Its dense, twisted trees and perpetual mist create an atmosphere ripe for the unexplained. Visitors have reported seeing strange lights dancing among the trees, orbs of light that seem to pulsate with an eerie energy. These glowing orbs are often seen floating in the air, moving in patterns that defy logic and physics. Some say they are spirits, others believe they are manifestations of the forest's mysterious energy. Electronic devices malfunction, compasses spin wildly, and time seems to lose all meaning within the forest's grasp. People have reported their watches stopping, phones losing signal, and cameras capturing inexplicable images. It's as if the forest itself is alive, playing tricks on those who dare to enter. Some visitors claim to have experienced missing time, losing hours within the forest without any explanation. They recall entering the forest in the early afternoon, only to find that night has fallen when they emerge. The sensation is disorienting, leaving them questioning their own memories and perceptions. They emerge disoriented, with no memory of where they've been or what they've seen. Some describe feeling as though they've been in a trance, their minds foggy and their bodies heavy. The forest seems to have a way of erasing time, leaving only confusion in its wake. Imagine walking through the woods, the air thick with the scent of pine and damp earth, when suddenly you feel a tingling sensation on your skin. The forest is silent save for the occasional rustle of leaves. The atmosphere is heavy, almost oppressive, as if the forest is watching you. The hairs on your arms stand on end and a wave of dizziness washes over you. You feel a presence, something unseen but undeniably there. It's as if the forest is alive, breathing, and aware of your every move. When you come to, you realize you're no longer on the path. The familiar trail has vanished, replaced by an unfamiliar landscape. Panic sets in as you try to retrace your steps, but the forest seems to shift and change around you. You're surrounded by the same trees, the same eerie silence, but something feels different, wrong. The forest is darker, the shadows longer, and the air colder. It's as if you've stepped into another world, one where the rules of reality no longer apply. You've entered a realm where the impossible becomes possible, where the veil between worlds is thin and easily pierced. In this place, the boundaries between the living and the dead blur, and the forest holds secrets that may never be fully understood. The Hoya Baciu forest remains one of the most enigmatic and unsettling places on Earth, a true testament to the mysteries that still elude human understanding. And then there's Anne Boleyn, one of the most famous ghosts in history, and she's right here. Beheaded on false charges, betrayed by the king I loved. My anger, my despair, it lingers. They say she walks the grounds, a spectral figure in white, her head tucked under her arm. Some say she's searching for her lost daughter, Elizabeth. Others, for the justice she never received in life. They call her the Green Lady. Charlotte was murdered on the night of May 31, June 1, 1477 by her husband. He suspected her of having an affair with one of his huntsmen, Pierre de Laverne. Charlotte was buried at the Benedictine Abbey of Coulombe. Now her spirit is bound here, forever mourning her lost love and seeking retribution for her untimely end. People have seen her, a ghostly figure in a green dress, her face contorted in a silent scream. The stories are endless. Guards hearing phantom footsteps pacing the cell blocks, the clanging of bars, disembodied voices whispering from empty cells. They say the energy here is so intense, it can drive you mad. Visitors have reported feelings of dread, of being watched, even touched by unseen hands. Some say it's the ghosts of notorious criminals like Al Capone or George Machine Gun Kelly, still trying to escape their eternal sentence. Whatever it is, one thing's for sure. Alcatraz holds onto its prisoners, both living and dead. The ancient Ram Inn possesses a genuinely chilling aura, not to mention a reputation that is so menacing that many local people won't even walk past it at night. Experience an overnight ghost hunt at the ancient Ram Inn, the most haunted building in England. Guests have seen ghostly children wandering the halls, their tiny voices echoing through the darkness. Some say they're the victims of ritual sacrifice, their innocent souls forever trapped within these walls. But the children are just the beginning. Witches, their cackles echoing through the centuries, are said to have used this place as a meeting ground. And then there's the incubus, a malevolent entity that preys on the vulnerable, feeding off their fear and desperation. The ancient Ram Inn isn't just haunted, it's a beacon for the darkest corners of the paranormal. A place where the line between the living and the dead blurs, and where the shadows themselves seem to whisper unspeakable horrors. You can't talk about La Recoleta without mentioning the Lady in White, Rufina Cambaceres, a young woman who died tragically in 1902. Legend has it she was buried alive, and her spirit, forever tormented by the memory, now roams the cemetery, searching for peace that never comes. But she's not the only one. There are countless stories of other restless souls: the grieving mother who still visits her children's tomb, the gambler who lost his fortune and his life, and the heartbroken poet who took his own life for love. Their stories are etched into the very stones of this place, guys. Every corner you turn, every mausoleum you pass, holds the potential for a terrifying encounter. La Recoleta Cemetery isn't just a graveyard, it's a repository of sorrow, a monument to the enduring power of the human spirit, even after death. And trust me, those spirits, they're still very much active. We've journeyed across continents, from the chilling halls of the ancient Ram Inn to the opulent yet eerie avenues of La Recoleta Cemetery. Each location a stark reminder that the veil between our world and the paranormal is thin, fragile, and easily pierced. These places, they stay with you, long after you've left their shadows behind. They make you question everything you thought you knew about life, death, and the spaces in between. Remember, these are just a handful of the countless haunted locations scattered across the globe, places where the energy is so thick, so heavy, that you can practically taste it. So the next time you're feeling brave, remember the stories we've shared, and ask yourself, are you really prepared to face the unknown? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-tingling content. Until next time, stay curious, but stay safe.